Hello, welcome to Record Sports Hotline Live, brought to you by Scottish Water. Every save counts, on the pitch and off it. Keep showers short, only boil what you need and don't leave the tap running. Goals matter, but water is always worth saving. Search Scottish Water today. My name is Daniel Comm, delighted to be joined by Record Sports Keith Jackson and Scott McDermott. Guys, how's it going?
You know, learned that off by heart yet, Dan, no?
Did that not look like I'd nah, can you tell I was reading that? Aye. Okay.
You're still
you're reading it.
Still reading.
Yeah.
Good start.
Auto cue.
Yeah.
We're a couple of minutes late because we've been rushing about today. We have
Sorry.
at
Apologies.
Scotland's training camp in Charlotte. We've been hearing from Stephen Naismith and Jack Hendry. I thought both guys were in good form.
They were. Jack Hendry in particular, I think.
Yep.
I tell you what I like about Jack Hendry, Daniel, and I've just written a piece for the paper tomorrow about him. His confidence is through the roof. And people might view that as a bit, maybe a bit cocky, a bit gallus, but I don't mind that in Scottish players. I probably think a few of your players could do with a bit more than that. A bit more of that. So certainly when getting into this Brazil game, biggest game of their lives, Brazil and Miami at a World Cup. It might phase, or you would think it might phase a few people, it might phase a few players. Certainly will not phase Jack Hendry.
No,
he's relishing it.
He thinks he's made for occasions like this. And by the way, he's had a good tournament. His first two games, I thought he started a bit ropey in the opening game. I thought he was guilty of too many touches in the ball. He was slowing down possession. But since getting through that opening 15 first minutes, I think against Haiti, he's looked pretty good.
You know what? I actually said, Dan, in the press conference, games like this or games at this level suit him more. Mm-hmm. And I know where he's coming for there. I don't think that's been cocky. I just think the better kind of level a player he's playing with and the better level a player he's playing against kind of brings out the best in him. And I understand, I think a lot of players are like that. If you probably put Jack Hendry in an FA Cup tie away to Chesterfield or something, he might not look great, but I think you put him in at the highest level at a World Cup, as we've just spoken about, and he looks like a really good centre-back. And at 31, he's got bags of experience. I know he's over to Saudi, obviously, the last couple of years. Playing against, say what you like about the standard of the Saudi league, or the exposure it gets, but there's no doubt he's playing against top-class strikers over there, so...
And he's physically conditioned because he's playing in the heat. Yeah, so it's maybe one of the reasons that I think he has impressed so far this tournament.
Yeah, because there was a bit of variety about who would play centre back, wasn't there, before the tournament? I don't think a lot of people had Jack Hendry doing as
a starter,
as being the absolute nailed-on starter for the 3 games. But obviously, whatever Steve Clark's seen in him in the build-up, and then obviously in the first game, he stuck with him, and you'd expect him to play the full 90 again against Brazil.
Well, I tell you what, guys, let's have a listen to Jack Hendry, because he was asked at today's press conference about the prospect of facing Neymar, and as you say, Scott, he didn't seem fazed by it at all. Let's have a listen.
Yeah, no problem. Obviously, was out in.
I trust the producer Darryl can help us with that. That would be good.
Quite comfortable, obviously, coming up against Neymar, and I look forward to it. It should be a really good battle, and if he does play, then I look forward to it.
What are your experiences of Neymar?
Obviously, I think he got injured out in Saudi, so he done his ACL, which was unfortunate. Obviously, I would have looked to played against him more. Played against him twice, I think, in the Champions League when he was at Paris Saint-Germain, so that was a good test. Obviously, the front 3 at that time are Messi, Mbappe and Neymar, so it's a not bad front 3 that. So it was a good experience. Learned a lot from these moments playing against these top calibre players, so I look forward to it, and we'll see if he plays in the game.
Guys, you kind of stole my thunder a wee bit there, but has Jack Hendry been arguably Scotland's best player in the opening 2 games? Maybe Angus Gunn as well, Ben Gannon Doak.
Lewis Ferguson for me.
Of course, Lewis Ferguson, a very good point.
And in fact, they're crunching the numbers, and there's sheet after sheet of statistics getting thrown about this World Cup. One of the ones that's really impressive is that there's not a player in the tournament that's covered more ground in terms of mileage on the pitch than Lewis Ferguson from the first
He has
two
been
games.
brilliant.
I find that astonishing.
Incredible.
And in fact, Lewis Ferguson was allowed to take the day off training because of that this morning. It was blistering. It's beautiful here in Charlotte today. One of the nicest days we've had weather-wise since we came.
Yep.
I'm sure that Lewis Ferguson's fitness isn't an issue, but because he's clocked up so many miles in the midfield and the hard, powerful running that he's been doing, they decided, the medical staff, you know what, he can take them on and off, well earned, and he has been our best player, our most impressive player thus far, I think.
I think so, and the reason I say that is he's obviously in there as a kind of defensive midfielder. Daniel, that's the role he's got, and in the games he's had to break up opposition play. As Jackal says, he's had to put the miles in to get about the pitch, and be kind of destructive. But I think when Scotland were on top in the Morocco game the other night, he was actually dictating the play for us for the middle of the pitch. He was dominating against a really good team. And there was a lot of talk going into this tournament about Lewis Ferguson, about how he maybe wasn't the player that he'd been at Bologna a couple of years ago when he was voted best midfielder in Serie A. He obviously that bad knee injury. But I think in terms of potential suitors, a couple of years ago, Juve and AC Milan and that were mentioned with him. I think in terms of potential suitors watching this World Cup, he'll have done himself no harm at all.
He's just taken himself outside the Rangers price.
Well, potentially.
Again. Yeah.
Potentially.
I asked you that today, Scott, didn't I? But during the press conference, I said, has he perhaps played so well that maybe Rangers won't be able to afford him now?
He might have. I mean, if Rangers have any kind of designs they go in for Lewis Ferguson, and we've spoken before about how big an influence Derek McInnes was on him at Aberdeen. If Rangers lose Nico Raskin, would Ferguson come into their thinking? I think he would. But I think he's all right. If he keeps his performances up, and if Scotland go any further in the tournament, then he might. The price is just going to go up and up. I actually spoke to an Italian journalist in the mix zone after the Morocco game and asked if he thought the big Italian clubs would come back in for him, and he said at this stage no, because he felt he'd had a kind of indifferent season at Bologna, and I think we all agree with that, but a lot of that was to do with the coach, is it Italiano, the coach, with the rotation policy. Bologna's got a new coach now, Tedesco. I mean, that's the thing I'm saying. Ferguson will impress potential suitors. He'll also have impressed his new coach that's getting in there. And I think watching him at this tournament, if you're Tedesco, you would think, whatever he's going to try and build it at Bologna. Ferguson, he's obviously captain already, but I think he'll look at Ferguson and think he's going to play a big part in this. But I think clubs will look at him, and there might be bids coming in.
Is that the way you read the situation, Keith? Do you think that perhaps Lewis Ferguson might have priced himself out of a move to Rangers in the sense that he's played so well in the opening two games?
It wouldn't surprise you if people are looking and thinking, he's looking kind of back to the sort of player that he was expected to become in Italy, and had become in Italy. But I think, listen, we've had friend of the show, Bill McMurdo, has been on.
Yep.
Don't think for a single solitary second that wee Bill's not all over this like a rash. Trust me on this one, he will be. Look, he said on our show, didn't he, that Lewis will, he said, there wasn't even a doubt about it, he will come back and play for Rangers one day. That's what he wants to do. I think I'd be astonished if Rangers aren't exploring every last opportunity. But you do wonder if he comes onto the radar of some of these bigger clubs that could just come in and brush Rangers aside financially. Rangers would need to work really, really hard to get a financial deal in place that Bologna would see as worth their while. And there's another player at this World Cup, Nico Raskin, that we've talked about that previously from a Rangers perspective. If his price was to go and Rangers get an offer they deem acceptable, then there's ways. There's always a way of doing things and getting deals done if everybody's determined to do it. But yeah, I mean, it's the world's greatest shop window, isn't it? The World Cup. If players come here and deliver and shine, then the world is their oyster. It's
just checking there. Raskin's also started for Belgium
Yep.
tonight.
Right.
Start
Just
first
about to say
game.
that.
I didn't even
come
know
in.
they were playing right now, Scott.
Yeah.
I'm so sort of in my own bubble now, just walking about. You're pushing me about from one place to the next. We were down doing a Facebook Live.
Facepoint live.
I don't even
Facepoint
know.
Live.
Love the word. Facebook Live today with Dan at
Yep.
training. Then had to get the wee golf buggy to go up, do the press conference. Then there was something else on. So it's been all go, and that's why we were late coming back to the hotel. And then
Yep.
the hotel, since we last spoke, we flew back from Boston to Charlotte last night. We had a 2-hour delay for one reason or another. Getting to the hotel, the rooms weren't booked. You know that way, I just felt, I sat down in the lobby and I thought I might start crying. I don't know if I
Oh,
can
come
take
on,
it anymore.
Keith. We'll all have a wee cuddle after this and we'll all feel better. Don't worry, guys.
Brazil. We're about to play Brazil, man. It's Brazil at the
I
World Cup.
don't know if I've got a one-match report left in me.
Well, look, while you contemplate that, Keith, we've got tons of comments coming in. And if you want to let us know your thoughts on the World Cup and anything else, please do so. Doddington says, if Rangers and Celtic don't try to get Hendry after this, then I'm absolutely astonished. Scott McDonald says, Ferguson won't go to Rangers now. A top 6 English Premiership team, maybe Tottenham with Robertson. Scott says that Ferguson will be too pricey for Rangers unless it's a Raskin swap. Kenneth says, best player in the park was Hendry against Morocco, followed by Ferguson. Hanley got to be dropped and McKenna must start beside Hendry. Ferguson was a close second for best Scotland Premier League for Lewis. We've got a couple of Celtic transfer bits and bobs that I'll maybe save for a little bit later on, but I'll finish with this. Henry says, can we just have a go for once? I know we're a few days away from the game still, guys, but what do you think? Do you get that feeling that Scotland are kind of... And we were actually, before I finish that sentence, we've been talking about this, haven't we, Scott? Why is it always either gung-ho or 11 at the back? Can we not find a spot in between?
Jacko's better talking about it because I know he's written a really good piece on it for tomorrow. But you're right. I'm just getting a wee bit fed up with this argument about, if you say that Scotland need to attack more and get more shots on target and be more of a threat, suddenly people equate that to you saying, they should go gung-ho. They say, you can't go gung-ho because they'll just... Nobody's ever said for a second that Scotland should go gung-ho against Morocco or Brazil. But why is it going to be black and white? Why is it going to be either gung-ho or backs against the wall, parking the bus? I mean, there has to be some kind of middle ground. You can be solid defensively. You can be solid defensively, Dan, and still pose a threat. Still play attacking players and get balls into the box and create chances. And you still have a defensive structure behind you. So I don't think anybody expects Scotland to open up and play wide open, expansive football and just be susceptible to counter-attacks every couple of minutes. But in terms of shots on target and chance creation, it's not been good enough in the first two games, no matter what way you look at it. So that has to improve.
You need our players to be braver on the ball and what they do in and out of possession. Take risks that we watched the Euros and we said, look, oh my God, they look as if they're overcoached here. They look as if they're frightened to go and do their natural thing and play off the cuff because everything is so rigid in the structure, and it was painful. And I was a bit worried, Scott, that we were drifting alarmingly towards that territory again with the way that we set up against Morocco. These are different games, different opposition, different pressures. Having won the first game, they went into the Morocco game kind of thinking, well, we've got a bit of breathing space here, but the pressure comes back on now that we're going to play Brazil because we're probably going to need something. At the very least, we're going to need not to go down to a heavy doing because that could kill us in goal difference. So again, the question needs to ask, well, how brave are we prepared to be? How brave are the players prepared to be? But more importantly, how brave is Steve Clarke prepared to be when it comes down to naming his starting 11 and putting his trust in players that do have that ability to go and hurt the opposition rather than sending out a team which is designed only to contain and to limit the damage. I think if we try and do a damage limitation job with Brazil, we could end up in the end as something really bad and enough to send us out. I think we need to try. I thought, Scott, I watched the Morocco game. I'm sure that part of the reason they're a good side, right? We know that. But part of the reason they grew so comfortable into that first half was because they were not having to defend against anything. There was no out ball. They could see it. They could sense from Steve Clarke's team sheet that Scotland were just going ultra defensive, playing two full-backs on the left-hand side to cope with their right back. By the way, who plays he could just as easy pop up in the left wing, never mind the right wing or a centre forward position. It sent out a bad signal. I'm just really hoping that we go into this game against Brazil sending out a very different signal. Do you know what? We're here. We're not going to be daft. As you said, you don't need to use phrases like gung-ho. Nobody's asking that. Nobody in their right mind expects it for Steve Clarke. But what we do demand, I think, after the lessons learned from previous things and all the talk before this tournament about we come back for the last two with regrets and it's hurting people and they want to get back out there and not take those same regrets away from this tournament. We'll see if you're going to do that. You have to turn up. You have to fight. You have to be ready for a proper scrap and you have to take it to Brazil. Don't sit in hoping for the best while being on the receiving end of the worst.
Couple of things, right? I asked John McGinn in the mix zone after the Morocco game, what's the approach against Brazil? Do you need to try and attack them? He was unequivocal. Aye, we need to try and attack them. If the players want to have a go at it, so see if you've got players that want to have a go, why not let them go and do it? And the other thing, which makes me laugh slightly, I've heard people in the last couple of days, even some of your colleagues saying, defending this kind of pragmatic defensive approach by saying that's what got us here. No, it
didn't.
What got us here? If you think of the games that got us here, Dan, I think about Greece at home when we tried a containment policy, trying to ease our way into the game. Greece were miles better than us. Knowing that we had to take something for that game, the shackles suddenly came off and we going 1-3-1.
Yep.
The Denmark game at Hampden, the greatest game of our lives. What got us here was the last 20 minutes, realising we need to go for it here or we're going out. And suddenly, when you free some of these players up to go and express themselves, and go and attack teams, they come up with golden moments that you're going to remember for the rest of your life. I even think back to Greece away that night, Jacko, we were in Athens, when again we tried to play ourselves in and it was all very kind of slow and laboured, and Greece go 3-up. So what happens at 3-up? Scotland decide we need to go and get something.
Get rid of that handbrake again.
And all of a sudden, in the last 20 minutes, we scored 2 goals and we thought at one point we're going to get a 3 each here. So I don't buy into this theory that we've got here because we've been defensively sound and we've been rigid and we've been solid and contained teams. Scotland's best moments in the qualifying campaign was when they just went for it. They got their best players the final third of the pitch.
Completely agree.
Again, I'm not saying get into the Brazil game 4-4-2 and go and try and go toe-to-toe with them. Nobody is saying that. You still have to have a defensive structure. Personally, I'd probably still go with a 4-2-3-1. I would probably bring like a Kenny McLean into midfield to give you that bit of protection. I tell you what, I'd still be playing with 2 wide men and a striker up front that can score, and a guy in McTominay who can score big goals playing as an attacking midfielder. I think that can cause Brazil a problem if you can get it.
Alternatively, we could just kind of go with Nathan Patterson at right back and Tony Ralston at right midfield. With Tierney and Robertson on the other side just to double bag it. What's that? Quadruple bag the thing. You're right, Scott. What you just said there is exactly what I want to see. It's exactly what we need to see.
Me too.
Because there's been promises made. There's been promises made by players. There's been promises made by Steve Clarke. Promises that the same mistakes will not be made over and over. I was worried that we were going in that direction against Morocco. As dangerous as an opponent as Brazil will clearly be, we need to try and make them worry about us. If we can do it, brilliant. And you know what? Even if we have a bit of a go and it doesn't go away, but they know they've been in a match and our fans walk away from it going, that I'm proud of the performance that we put on tonight. Because right now, English people, they're starting to say these things about, I think they're jealous about our supporters. I think they're jealous that the Tartan Army has stolen the heart of people up down America and Boston in particular. I think that rankles them a little bit. So now they're starting to turn, well, you might have the most fun and outrageous, flamboyant support at the World Cup, but your team's stinking it out. So I'd like us to try and put a bit of fun into this performance against Brazil, and put players out there and tell them to enjoy it, because this occasion might never be surpassed. This might be as good as it gets. Enjoy it.
But it's also important, Jack, what we say, by saying what we're saying just now, that's no underplaying the significance of Scotland qualifying for the knockout phase. Nobody wants them to qualify more than us. What we're saying is your best chance of qualifying, getting a positive result, might be actually throwing a few punches in a game. It might get you up the pitch.
Exactly right.
As you say, if you sit in, and look, by the way, see if it's
you're inviting it on yourself, then you're in trouble.
And see if it's 1-0 or 2-0, Dan, and it's getting towards the end of the game, 15-10 minutes to go, and you kind of know at that point, right, okay, we're probably going to get through. Then I understand the game. You say, right, okay.
Steve Clark could drive a double decker into the penalty box at that point.
That's then you need to think about qualification. But before the game, you need to take it on at its merits and actually just go after the game in front of you. And look, it's your opinion, obviously. And, other guys here have got different opinions, but I think the best chance Scotland have got, again, not by going crazy and going all out attack, but by at least having an impact on the game. Giving Brazil something to worry about, whether that's Gannon playing wide, whether it's McTominay just off a striker, whether it's Lauren Shankland coming back in, who's our almost natural goal scorer, and obviously we need goals. Whatever it is, we have to make an impact on the game, because, as I've said, I think I said last night, this game, Brazil in Miami at the World Cup, I think as a player, similar to what Jacko said about Euro 2024, if you're a player, you don't want to come out of this game thinking, didn't really do ourselves justice here, didn't have an impact, didn't have a shot on target. That's the last thing you want, do you know what I mean? Obviously the main priority is to try and get through, but I think as a player you want to come away from this game. Not people talking about it, people still talk about France 98, the Brazil game. The reason being is that we actually competed in the game. We deservedly got a penalty. John Collins sticks it away and it's only an OG that beats us in the end up. You want people to be talking about this Brazil game in years to come. You don't want it just to fade off into the distance because there's no a chance to talk about, there's no a shot to talk about, or a big save, or a...
No, we need to get involved in this tournament.
Exactly.
We can't sit and watch another one just slip away from us. We need to step right into the middle of it and do everything that we can to get our hands on it and get involved in it. There is a bit of news that came from the Brazil camp. It's interesting. They had 7-star men missing from Carlo Ancelotti's training session. I think they're based in New Jersey, Scott. Lucky them, eh? So Casemiro and Mateus Cunha, both obviously Man United. Rafinha, who is without doubt the star man, we think he's definitely out of the lineup for the Scotland game. Gabriel and Marquinhos, so that's the two centre half, his first choice centre half pairing. Another defender, I think, is based in Brazil, Danilo, and Santos, a midfield player. And I know that they're trying to say, look, they're not overly concerned. It's about managing recovery, recuperation, all this sort of thing. But I tell you what, if they've got issues, then the more the merrier, as far as we're concerned. It does mean that there could be opportunities for guys that ordinarily are sitting about waiting on their chance. A guy like Neymar, for example, and that could be difficult enough for us, especially if these guys come in really highly motivated, knowing that they need to try and use this as an opportunity to make their mark, stay in the team for the latter stages. But I tell you what, if they were missing Gabriel and
Marquinhos,
then I'd be happy with that. We just need to find a way of
So what you're saying is
getting up there and attacking them.
So what you're saying is it's Brazil's reserves we're playing with.
There's a chance of that. There's a chance of that.
There's a lot of people, guys, that want to have their say in the comments. Let me run through a few of these before I start to wrap up today's show. There's actually a little bit of concern for you, Keith, in the comments. I'll come to that before we finish as well. AGSC Tech says, I felt Clark got the tactics and systems.
Dan.
Right. So am I. AGSC Tech says Clark got the tactics and systems spot on, but he screwed up the first 11 selection. Scott says, have we got the players that can play a high press against Brazil for 90 minutes? We can't sit back against them. They'll rip us apart.
No way we're going to do that.
Nah, no chance. No. Kenneth says, I would take a 2-1 defeat to Brazil as long as we score another goal, make it through to the playoffs against either Mexico, Germany or France. David says, qualifying with a point v Brazil is historical. Qualifying with 3 points versus Haiti is embarrassing and no big achievement. To be this one as well, Canadian Hammer.
Do you know what? It's hard to argue against that, Dan.
I was going to say that Keith David makes a good point, doesn't he? I mean, if you qualify with one goal, a deflected winner against Haiti, it takes the gloss off it, to say the least, doesn't it?
I think that Scotland's players and the managerial team are aware of that as well. They take it. Of course, they'll take it all day long. But I think it's a very valid point. We want to make a mark here. A 1-0 win over Haiti, and then is that something the players will return back to Scotland thinking we're the greatest Scottish side that ever lived because we beat Haiti 1-0? Nah, they're better than that. We've got good players. Let's get them out there and let's give Brazil a match and see where it takes us.
AGSC Tech says, I promise you all, last 32 clash against Germany is an easier game than either Morocco or Brazil. It'll be easier against a European opponent in this humidity. And I mentioned just before we wrap up, guys, that I wanted to throw a Celtic transfer bit your way because we've had a few comments on this. Addy writes in, he wants to know, he says, ask Keith and Scott what they've heard, Daniel. Celtic have had an offer in the region of €4 million rejected for Sandefjord centre-back Zinedine Šmalović. The Norwegians want between €4.5 and €5 million. I know you guys were up to your eyes. You would have missed this earlier, but it was a big story on social media. I'm saying I know you would have missed it, but it was a big story on social media earlier. Maybe the Celtic rebuild is underway, perhaps. Centre-half.
Aye, maybe.
I'll let Scott handle this one.
I'm just trying to think where they are centre back wise. Obviously, listen, Liam Scales and Austin Shosty get them over the line, didn't they? And
Carter Vickers is going to be back too.
Carter Vickers
it's not the position I thought they would start with, I guess.
No, got a couple of younger ones.
And how far down the line is this?
Apparently the bid €4 million it's been rejected. Olympiacos are apparently in for him as well. So who knows? But it was quite a big story earlier on in social media, and a lot of people asking about it. If you guys have heard anything about it,
I didn't get a minute there.
I haven't heard anything, Dan. I must admit.
Okay,
but you're right. The rebuild will need to start at some point at Celtic because there'll be a lot. There'll be a lot of players leaving there.
Yep.
Right, I mean, maybe centre back might not have been the first place I thought they might have looked, but Martin O'Neill definitely want four right good centre backs. So you think Trusty, Carter Vickers and Scales are going to be there? He would certainly want another one.
Yeah.
Want another one in. So might be a decent place to start from.
Right, William Lang says, think you might need to get Mick Gannon out to replace the broken Keith. Are you okay, Keith?
Listen, see even the threat of that happening, don't worry, I'll be perked up. Just need a wee lie down. I'm getting a certain age.
The very final thing, guys.
We'll get him at
exactly. Brad wants to know, now that the tournament started, who do you think will win the World Cup now? Very last question. Have you been influenced at all? You still think France got a note?
Same as I thought. I just think France and Mbappe.
And you're still in Argentina, Keith?
I'm still in Argentina. Yep, I've been quietly impressed by Holland. I have to tell you,
they were really good yesterday. Weren't they?
But the problem with the Dutch is it happens every World Cup. They can look electric, and then something happens in the hotel, and everybody falls out of each other, and there's a massive strop, and two big camps, and general internal warfare. That's the Dutch story at the World Cups. Scotland's story is We come over, we bring fans, everybody's a very good time, apart from when they're actually watching the games, and then we got up the road on the first available flight. I want that story to change. Maybe the Dutch story will change too.
You liked Big Brian Broby, didn't you? Big
Oh,
striker.
what a beast! Yeah,
Aye,
I hadn't
good.
seen much of
Aye.
my son. Don't.
Aye, looks good, doesn't he? Okay, guys, I think that more or less brings us to the end of Sunday
I
night's
tell you what,
Hotline Live.
I do have to put my hands up though, Dan.
Go on.
My black, what is it? What do we call it? The kind of my long shot.
Oh, Ecuador.
I was going to say black horse, dark horse. My dark horse Ecuador selection isn't looking too clever.
No, mine was Japan. They're looking good.
Aye, that's true. Yours was.
How's Japan a dark horse? Everybody knows Japan are a good team. At least I've taken a risk there. Albeit I might have listened too carefully to a New Jersey taxi driver. I've done the Andy Roxburgh here, haven't I? Apparently Ecuador are looking magic. Aye, really? They're stinking the place out worse than us.
I mean, they've only got Germany in the last game. I'm sure they'll negotiate that and get through.
I know.
The real Ecuador will step forward.
Was the line there defensively?
They couldn't get through them, aye.
They conceded about 8 goals in 2 games.
It's a shambles. It's a shambles.
John says America are the dark horse. Are you having that?
They look
They
good.
have looked good.
They've been looking good.
I think
always seems to go far.
The Americans and the Dutch have really impressed me. Playing a very similar style of football. And do you know what it is? It's a really high intensity, high energy, adventurous, aggressive, attacking style of football. Isn't that what we all want our teams to play like, Dan?
I still think Tunisia might come good.
You're not getting the point there, right?
Sorry, it was a yeah.
And by the way, as much as, I don't know what you think of this, but as much as America, because they're a host nation and they've obviously got the whole, a big chunk of the country behind them, they've got off to a great start. I mean, when you look at America's squad, first 11, is it that much better than Scotland's, player by player? Would you take America's team over
No,
us? I know Tillman's really good, obviously known for Rangers.
Pulisic.
In Germany, Pulisic, I mean,
They've got good attacking options.
They have
They've
Balogun's
probably got
obviously
better attacking
really good
options
up
than us.
front.
But it's more about, it's not so much the individuals I'm talking about, it's the way the team is approaching it. It's the high intensity, Scotty. It's be adventurous, be bold, get on the front foot. Try and batter your opponent into submission. Nobody is suggesting for a moment that we're going to be able to do that to Brazil. But just a flick of the switch mentally. We need to go out there looking to land a few blows and not just kind of cower away in the corner of Group C hoping that we don't end up in a bloody mess.
Here.
Addy in the comments says it would be great seeing Austin Trusty with a World Cup winners medal for the new season. I think that's a perfect note for us to finish on. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Sunday Night's Hotline Live, brought to you by Scottish Water. Thank you for all the comments, and we'll do it all again tomorrow, guys. Yeah.
Can't wait, Dan.
Excellent.
Oh, by the way, when we were going to this is a laugh. When we were going to waiting in our taxi to go up the train and just after breakfast time this morning, standing out there. Now I've not unpacked my case that I took to Boston. It's still lying up there, and then I get an email from American Airlines saying, "Oh, it's time to check in for your next flight to Miami." So I'm gonna have to unpack one case, pack another, try and find whatever clean clothes are left at the bottom of the thing.
That's the hardest. But
what we're going to be telling, I mean, this is Miami, wee man. We need to, we can't walk into Miami looking like Stigger a dump.
That's the first thing I'm going to do when I get to Miami is go and buy a can of deodorant. Because I'll be kicking about with t-shirts I've already worn twice. So
there you go.
No good.
There you go.
Cool. Yeah, the whole point of that is when we next speak to you, we'll be doing it from Miami.
Miami
Absolutely.
Beach.
Exactly.
Where we belong,
where we belong, exactly. We'll fit right in.
The return of Crockett and Tubbs.
We hope you can join us live from Miami Beach at 9 p.m. UK time tomorrow. But until then, thank you very much for watching. Keith Scott, it's always an absolute pleasure. See you in 30 seconds.
Cheers,
Cheers, Dan. Cheers, people.
Cheers, guys, and thanks for watching at home. Cheers.